So, Stephen A., from what you saw, will this offense work?
Well, listen, I think the offense is going to be high-powered. I think the offense is going to be incredibly productive. If you look at the weapons that they have, even with Macklin out, you still have a guy like Deshaun Jackson who hooked up with Michael Vick for 47-yard touchdown. You still got guys like an Avant, even a Riley Cooper, LaShawn McCoy and those boys. They've got enough weapons to make some noise. But this is the game of football. This is the NFL we're talking about here. And pacing, Skip, means a great deal. Because if you're scoring too quickly, if you're up-tempo, that could be problematic, especially for the Eagles, who, to me, have a suspect defense. Tom Brady and the New England Patriots came in there 2 consecutive 80-yard drives. I mean, they just moved the ball up and down the field at will for crying out loud. And this was a problem with the Eagles. Tackling was an issue with the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm not really sold on it, you know. And when you look at it, remember, Skip, one of the things that need to be mentioned, if you remember last year when Andy Reid was coaching this team, all right, you had Marty Mornhinweg as your offensive coordinator, okay? You had Washburn up in there on the defensive side of the ball. You had Washburn getting into it with coaches because he wanted to slow the pace down, to rest the defense, to give the defense a break, you understand, to put them in better positions to succeed. Why? Because he felt like the offense was being relatively selfish. Just score as quick as you possibly can, have no consideration whatsoever. Pacing matters on the NFL level. And when I think about Chip Kelly, they're telling us they ran about 86 plays. You got to imagine that they're not going to do it at that pace during the regular season. But at the same time, you have to monitor not just the points that they put up, but how they go about doing it, because the defense is going to need some assistance. Because as I look at the Eagles' defense, to be quite honest with you, I'm not enamored. I'm not that excited with what I'm seeing. They've got to be able to stop somebody, Skip. It's not just about scoring points. You've got to be able to stop somebody. You've got to be able to control tempo as well. That's going to have a lot to do with their success.
I agree with your take on what was just the opening preseason game. And again, as Michael Vick said, I thought Vick played very well in a short time. That was only about a third of what they've been practicing. So we need to see more before we draw conclusions about whether Chip Kelly's stuff will work in the National Football League. I will remind you, though, the irony of what you're talking about here, fast break offense. What team ran the most plays in the NFL last year? It happened to be the team across the field on, what was it, Friday night. It was the Patriots. They ran 42 more plays than anybody else in the NFL. Second was Denver. So I'm with you. The jury's out on that because the jury's way out on the Eagles' defense. Kerry Williams seemed to take some kind of a veiled shot, a between-the-line shot at the Eagles' defense. He obviously was with the champion Ravens last year, suggesting they don't have quite the fight or the edginess that his former defense did. Well, probably not with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and Suggs, and we can go on, Pollard and Ellerby and Kruger and all the above, who all made Kerry Williams look a little better at his job. And by what I'm hearing from people in Philadelphia, Kerry Williams has not lived up to his free agent billing yet with the Eagles. So I'm not sure they plugged a hole there with Kerry Williams. So maybe he's talking about what happened last year because he ain't making it happen this year. I'm with you. I'm not sure about this. I assume Vick will start at quarterback, but as Kerry pointed out, I really like the way Matt Barkley played. And again, it's against second teamers, third, I don't know how many low teamers it was against, but he looked really good to me. But
let's be clear. But, Skip, let's be clear here. They started out the game slow. They were going into a huddle. They didn't have the no-huddle working. That was with Vick. And then you went to Foles, and then you accelerated it a little bit. Or actually decelerated it a little bit. And then after that, you bring in Matt Barkley, and then all of a sudden you are running the no-huddle. So they made it very, very clear. Exactly. They made it very, very clear that what they're not going to do is show all their cards in preseason. Wait until the regular season starts, and then we'll bring the rain. And Matt Barkley was actually put in a better position to succeed, some might argue. So let's keep that in mind. He did look good, but they did sort of cater to him a little bit more than they did to the other dudes who are expected to start.
Okay, I'm with you. So let me ask Stephen A. one quick question here. Eagles, playoff team, no playoff team, from what you've seen so far?
from what I've seen so far, no playoff team, but that's because of their defense. I think offensively they will be a juggernaut, and I think that Michael Vick will perform.
Well,
the problem is, I think the Cowboys are going to be better. I think the Cowboys are going to be better, and I know the Redskins and the Giants are going to be better than they were last year.
No playoffs for Eagles. No playoffs.
All right.